Giuliani.
Here.
Ms. Belivar.
Here.
And I'm Joe Coward.
All right, so public comments. We have,
Pat, why don't you choose?
I'll wait until
okay,
after.
would you like to speak, or?
I really have nothing to say. I think
Okay.
I mentioned just that we're combining the two lots
Okay.
to be able to make
All right,
improvements.
so you're here for that one. Okay, Pat.
I'll wait until comprehensive plan, if you're okay.
Do you want to wait?
It's up to you guys.
I'm sorry, I didn't know what you said.
I think it should go.
Go during the comment period.
I'm in the comment period? I will go in the comment period.
Keep going.
Okay, so, the 2024 comprehensive plan. I provided written comment to the borough. I don't know if it was cycled out to everyone. I have sent it to some, so everyone has my comments. I am here tonight to speak directly and specifically about walkability and drivability. And I am coming before you with a hope to make peace. You know, what happened before Christmas this year when one of our police officers struck one of our residents is an unthinkably sad situation. And I am certain that there is an investigation going on with some depth and some breadth that will determine the details of that incident. But I am here to tell you that I am at fault. I was on council, I was mayor, and I was at fault because I did not create an environment wherein our pedestrian was safe. I did not create that. And this comprehensive plan builds on that war. A war that pits drivability and walkability against each other as two irreconcilable forces to which there can never be peace. I'm here to tell you that I walk and I drive. And I would like to do both in our community, and I would like to do both safely. I am asking this body to pull back this comprehensive plan and look for methods and ways to make both pedestrians and drivers safe. Specifically in this comprehensive plan, it says that roadways should be something more than a way for vehicles to travel. No, they shouldn't. Do not invite me to play in the middle of Bower Hill Road. I just crossed it a few moments ago. It's not safe. And my crossing it was not made any safer by little white lines, which I didn't, by the way, use anyway. Okay, those little white lines that you paint on the roadways, they don't stop 4,000-pound vehicles. And calming those vehicles down doesn't make me feel safer. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't care if your 4,000-pound vehicle is going 5 miles or 50 miles an hour. I don't want it to hit me. And if I'm in one of those vehicles, I don't want to be the driver who has to spend the rest of his life thinking about the life that I just made or took. As a driver, I want our community to do better for us. It must. Okay? It is a matter of livability. It is a matter of life. Darn it. You know, we're running over people. Okay? It doesn't feel safe. Many of your comments are about the fact that Bridgeville doesn't feel walkable. We are more walkable than most of the communities that surround us. And yet we don't feel walkable because we don't feel comfortable walking. Okay? As I said, I walk and I drive. Some specific items. You know, there's a picture in here that shows traffic calming and some narrowing of the roadway. Please, Take a look at the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration study on pedestrian islands. It's part of what I sent out. Take a look at the fact that painted crosswalks or quote marked crosswalks on arterial roadways, and again, they talk about multi-lane and traffic count. I'm a CPA, I'm not a traffic engineer, guys. But take a look. Marked crosswalks are actually more dangerous than unmarked ones because they invite us as pedestrians to cross. We have a number of intersections. We have a number of places. I would implore this commission, bring this comprehensive plan back to your body, or put it wherever you believe will get the most attention. But solve the problem. Make it safe for me as a walker. Make it safe for me so that I don't ever run into someone as a driver. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
All right. Let's get down to new business.
How about adoption of minutes?
Oh, thank you. All right. I need, any questions, problems, issues with the minutes from the December 4th meeting?
I make a motion to accept.
Second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, new business, annual reorganization. I need a nomination for the chair of the planning committee.
And you don't want to do it?
No.
No, I'm going to Dale.
All right, Dale, do you accept?
I do.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, congratulations, Dale. You're-
Sorry, Joe.
Why are you apologizing to Joe?
Because I'm about to make his life miserable.
Oh, is that
Oh,
right?
you haven't been already?
All right, okay, so I need a nomination for the vice chair. Nomination?
I nominate Melissa to be vice chair.
Anyone else? All right. Melissa, do you accept?
I do.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, motion passes. Congratulations. All right, I need a nomination for the election for the secretary.
I do not. Thank you very much.
I nominate Mike. Mike, do you accept?
Sure.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, nays? No, the motion passes.
Like,
Congratulations.
It's a hard job. You have to get up and look.
I'll just sit over there then.
Well,
Next week, I'll sit, next month, I'll sit over there.
I'll take care of it.
Okay.
It's one of those move around chairs anyway.
And then we'll have to say thank you for the opportunity to do this. And putting your faith in me.
You're welcome to do it again.
And I need a very long vacation.
Big
Or I'm
tall,
gonna get twitchy.
big tall glass of wine is what you.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, here we go. So, next on the agenda is Fernley Consolidation Plan. Proposed lot consolidation that would combine two parcels, 255-K-10 and 255-K-9 at 427 Railroad Street into one parcel. The plan has been reviewed by the borough engineer and conforms to the borough's zoning ordinance and subdivision land development ordinance. The plan has also been provided to Allegheny Economic Development for their review and comments. Review, discussion, consider action to recommend approval to the approval of the plan to the Borough Council. So, in the packets, we got information regarding this. Does anybody have any questions?
Well, I did until I met this gentleman, so now I don't have any questions.
Joe, you have anything?
No, anything that, maybe we can introduce the property owner.
Oh, okay.
And maybe he can speak to what he proposes to do.
It's a great opportunity to advertise.
Matt.
Sure, am I speaking loud enough, everybody can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
So we have an existing business over in Bethel Park called Reginald's Coffee. It's named after our dog.
Say again the name of coffee?
Reginald's Coffee, like the
Reggie.
long form of Reggie.
Okay.
Yeah, so Reggie was our dog. He
What kind of dog?
he's a mutt. He was a mutt. He just passed away actually in July, which was
I'm
really
really sorry.
tough. I mean, we love that boy enough to name our business after him. So, but what can you do? I guess that's life. So in any case, if you'd like to see sort of a concept or a smaller version of what we'll have here in Bridgeville, you're welcome to visit our business over there in Bethel Park. We're at the Historical Society. They're building the big schoolhouse at the top of the hill on South Park Road. We roast coffee there and we serve it at a cafe. Initially, our plans are to get our roaster up and running along with a small retail store on the front to avoid, at this point, any of the plumbing and expenses that go along with that to build a cafe. So that'll be sort of our phase one, which will be coming relatively soon, and then phase two down the line will be a full cafe and hopefully restaurant, depending on budget and so forth. But yeah, so that's the plan. And to put the two properties together allows me to add onto the building potentially, or open up the side of the building to make that a nice green space for initially our employees' use, and then eventually customers' use. So pretty much a nice little garden area.
Just a question.
Sure.
I think I hear you say, but I'm just confirming. You're taking one of the buildings that's there, I mean the building that is there, and you're putting a building next to it, or you're tearing that building down and putting?
Well, the really, our current plan, and it may change in the next year or two, but our current plan is to make it mostly like a garden with a fence on the front. So you're talking about it was Petrocelli Center. Petrocelli owned the building and the lot directly next to it, with Serafina's on the other side. So this is so really the plan for the lot is to put a nice decorative fence on the front and a fence on the back, and then make most of it a green area and have a deck coming out the side, and then open up the side and have my ADA entrance into the building for future customers. And that's our solution, to have a nice little area for our customers. I think generally we'll have a little bit of paving, similar. I would say compared to like the little park across the street from us, But if you have any more specific questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Tentative opening date?
So no opening date, and Joe actually every time I meet with him, he's like, when are you doing it? So I mean, we're trying to be sustainable and have the money and not really take out big loans so that we fail. So really, I'm taking it a step at a time. Like I said initially, I'm trying to get the roaster running, and in order to sort of conform to retail zoning, we're also going to open the retail store on the front in order to sell our product, along with some other gifts and things like coffee brewing equipment.
Later this year, or?
Well, so for that phase, we're hoping to apply for occupancy in hopefully February. Yeah, so soon. So that's pretty much just running out of the existing building as is, and then ideally I'm able to make improvements as I'm able to afford them.
Good deal.
Wait, will you have dog themed, like coffee mugs and things?
Yeah, we have. So you can see this is our logo. So he's the little dog on top, and then it's like on most of our merchandise. But check us out. I mean, it's really nice, and it's really impressive how much traffic we generate in that area for the borough, because they're in their 10-year plan there in Bethel Park. They are attempting to make that whole area sort of their downtown. And in fact, we asked Joe if we could talk to him about how we're getting so much interest in this area, and it seems like there's lots of stuff going on, so people are impressed over there. So
Any
anyways.
more questions? Okay, I would entertain a motion to recommend this to council for approval.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Can we give like a robust eye that makes a
Sure.
difference from just a regular eye?
I-
It's awesome. I just think it's awesome.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we love it. It's exciting. I think Bridgeville's a lot of fun, like a lot of good history here.
Yeah, we live just up over the hill, so, and my
Nice.
husband's a coffee freak, so
Yeah.
we'll see you later
Yeah,
when you get it up.
nice. Joe said he's been to our.
Yeah,
visit all the time.
I have too,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
very
nice.
nice.
Nice. Yeah, my wife, she did all the interior design. I sort of figured out the coffee part and everything, so.
It's neat how you fit into that building.
Yeah, right, I mean,
That's the coolest part.
for sure. Yeah, it was, it's definitely been
Okay.
interesting. Well, thank you.
Welcome to Bridgeville.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I'm gonna head out
Thank
though,
you.
if you don't mind.
No, you're
Yeah,
right.
thank you so much for your time.
Okay, old business, 2024 comprehensive plan. Review comments received and responses prepared by the town consultant. And then skip, might make a motion to send this, forward this on to the council.
I don't think, based upon what I read from the accounting, I mean, and Pat, I hate to say it, but I think there are some additions that could be improved,
Okay.
all right? The other thing is too, is that we definitely need to tell Macra that whenever they put any renderings in there or drawings, they have to be identified as samples, or we're gonna get creamed. All right?
You're talking like the.
Crosswalk, yes.
Okay.
All right? It definitely has to be identified
If
as.
people look at it and think that's what it is.
Yes, right. I mean, we're still working on the crosswalk across the bridge, the railroad bridge, so.
Okay, what else?
Hold on. I think in the Allegheny counties, the last item on the first page,
Okay.
specific language. I do agree with almost everything that Allegheny County is saying should be identified or should be added, specific language.
Okay.
I mean, I'll be more than happy to share I have like at least 2 a page with specific language that should be added.
Well, let's talk about it.
Okay, all right,
I mean, that's what we're doing here.
okay.
Let's talk about it.
Justine, do me a favor, since these are not numbered, could you go through them? Just
Yeah.
column page.
So,
one page.
So on the first page, respondent number 2,
Gotcha.
comment number 2.
Okay.
Okay, their comment was that the median age has changed from 45.2 to 43.8 in 2020, okay? So my thought was that we should include more information about a decrease in Bridgeville's median age, all right? And at the same time, I think if possible, we should include a review time that we look at it. Now, are we getting this data, this median age data from census? So there's no other way to understand if our median age is floating up or down in a 5-year period, is that?
Census is every 10 years.
Right,
Every 10
right,
years, so,
right.
yeah.
Because my thing is.
Plus the county keeps track of that.
All right, because I think that if we include that, we should look at maybe 7 years down the road, looking to see if we can find if it's trending, still trending to a lower age, because that's going to affect parks and so forth, so the need for parks.
Okay.
All right, I think that on the bottom one, on page 31, it starts off with, on page 31.
Comment number 4.
All right, and the response from NACM was specific language regarding the existing conditions and determining what is and what is not working can be added. I think it should be added. Specific language.
Okay, what are we talking about, which one?
The bottom of page 1.
Well,
I think that was included, that's what that whole chapter of downtown zoning.
Well, according to Mackin, she's been very specific if it's been, if it's existing in the document.
Uh-huh.
All right, and it's not included. So at least let's look at it.
So you're saying we should go back to Mac and say
Good,
more specific?
right.
Okay.
All right, so
How
page,
easy would that be to do, Joe?
I have to ask, I don't know. Because I don't know, like, scope of contract, you know what I mean? That's what I need to figure out.
yeah,
Obviously, it's built in there. It's out there for public comment, public responses, and there is edits that come along with
Right.
that. So it is expected, but
Yeah.
like, some of these things from Allegheny County are rather, a person that probably wasn't that familiar with Bridgeville Borough,
okay,
and was just checking boxes, you know?
okay,
It was really generic.
Yeah, so some of this, asks for things that are definitely outside of the scope of contract that we
Okay.
would have to pay for, you
all
know?
right, yeah,
It'd be ancillary to what
Okay.
their work was, but a lot of it, that's the game.
Yeah.
They have to
Right,
address
right.
it.
so in the second page, the first comment,
Comment number 5.
You really should number these.
I know,
The second page is comments 5 through 8.
okay. So anyway, official map, what does an official map do from the borough?
I asked Brandy a question. She gave me an example, is let's just say if there was an area of town that was to be redeveloped, it would put these proposals of a vision on that
Mhm.
map. To me, it sounds like a waste of money,
Okay,
because you have a zoning map, we know what it is, it has an implementation map
Mhm.
with included.
okay,
It's just, I think, an NPC definition of an official map, which shows some of these visions for the future on the official
okay,
map.
all right,
Well, it's
Well,
not
they've
like Bridgeville has a lot
acknowledged
of...
that on here, says the borough has not shown an interest in developing.
Well, it's not like
With an
Bridgeville,
O and in capital O and a capital.
it's not like Bridgeville has a lot of areas to be developed.
Right,
So-
I would agree, this is the height of bureaucracy right there, yeah.
all right, so this is number 6, I already stated that, we need to add sample on any of those drawings, or drafts, or whatever.
We need to do, say,
On any drawing that's included in there, we
Yeah.
need to identify it as a sample,
oh,
and
okay.
not as a rent,
Yeah, propose a rendering or something, that's what we're planning on doing.
yeah, yeah. So in regards to 8,
Can we go to 7? Or are you still
go
doing
ahead,
yours
no, go
first?
ahead.
The thing that says, what is the low-hanging fruit?
Mm-hmm,
I'm going, what's low-hanging fruit within the context of this? The easiest stuff to do? Is that what they're thinking?
Yeah.
And what about this is easy, except maybe painting lines? or
Well-
something?
I don't think the plan reviewer knew the borough had an active transportation plan. Because a lot of his comments go back to the active transportation plan, that if he knew existed, these wouldn't be on the plan review.
Okay.
At least that's how I read it.
Agreed.
So a full, and the last one, 7, 8, full zoning audit, would that be of page 3, which
Which one?
is the separate parking study. Does anybody feel that we need to do a separate parking study?
I'm open to listening, but I think at this point in time, I mean, there's so many other things on the active transportation and on the table that they put together for the comprehensive plan for projects. I think there's enough. I mean, we got a parking authority, we can,
But you know, here's the thing, you know, because I can remember talking about this because I was very interested in it, in that there are things that the borough can do to improve the situation in the parking lots, like for leases, all right? Put the leases further on the periphery so that the main part of the parking lot is open to people that want to do business in Bridgeville, all right? But I didn't see any of that in there. I mean, and I know I talked about it. So, I mean, if at all possible, I think that we should at least include a recommendation for a parking study, because those things are gonna pop up. Those long-term issues are gonna pop up.
Short-term versus long-term parking.
Yeah. I mean, you know, what happens if we even want to get rid of paid parking in Bridgeville? God forbid.
No, we should do that.
blasphemy.
Huh?
You're talking blasphemy.
I don't know to whom. To whom is that blasphemy?
To me.
Okay, next.
There,
You weren't at this meeting.
the detailed market analysis on page, what page are you on?
We just went
I don't know
on
what
13,
page you
page
want.
3, sorry.
On page 4,
Page
all right? Right in the middle, 1, 2,
13, 14, 15.
okay? Detailed market analysis. I mean,
Have we had that?
is that the one that was done by
Four-way.
Four-Way?
Or something.
I mean, we've had a whole of the detailed analysis. I could be wrong.
Okay.
When this went out for review, Joe, were all the, appendices and that type of thing sent with it? Okay.
All right, next page, nothing.
But wait a minute, before you say next page, nothing.
Yes.
Can I jump in here with?
Yeah.
So it's, this comment, now these were just from folks, right? Or were they?
These
from-
particular ones from Allegheny County.
Okay. Well, folks, all right, so the residents and businesses in our community are the destination, exclamation point. If that isn't a load of, what?
Where are we at?
Yeah, where are you?
What is it, page,
Not responded.
what would be
Okay.
page 5, are
Respond
they
to
all
one?
Yeah,
respondent
comment
one?
two.
No,
No,
so-
we're at respondent 1.
Okay.
Respondent
This
1
is,
has.
this is our former mayor.
Huh?
These comments were made by our former mayor.
I'm responding one, I think.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
from here on,
Oh,
respondent
from here
one.
on. Okay, well, you'd say this, Joe, but ridiculous. The
Okay.
residents and businesses in our community are the destination. Explain that to me.
Sure. People come to see you, they come to see me as an accountant. They don't come to Bridgeville to, I've gone to New York City to go to New York City. I've gone to Boston to go to Boston. I don't go to Pittsburgh just to go downtown
Let me
Pittsburgh.
stop you because I think we have a syntax issue here.
Yeah.
I think I'm reading this like we should, that's the way it should be. And I'm thinking if we're talking about a downtown revitalization, that's not the way it should be. There should be cool places to come here that's not an accountant or not an accountant's family or,
I understand the theory. The theory is create a destination and people will come to Bridgeville as a destination. That's the idea. Is to create the destination, brand it, market it to the world, so that people will come to Bridgeville like they go to New York. Again, obviously New York is bigger, et cetera, but brand it as a destination. And I'm pushing back and saying, no, that's not going to get you there. You're not going to create a shopping mall. You're not going to create that. I know the kind of, you almost want it to be like a Sewickley. How about that? Sewickley could be a destination, right? When you're thinking about what you want to mirror in that concept, isn't it Sewickley that you're thinking of? When you're saying a destination, what are you thinking? Can you name one that's around us or something that would fit?
We've talked about like Zealy before.
Yes.
That's one of the examples.
Or Shady Side, something like that.
which one?
Zealy, no.
Oh,
Zelenoville, Shady Side,
Zealy.
Zealy.
Zealand.
Zealy.
Sorry.
Okay.
Where?
So, it comes back, this is the cliche that's out there. So, you know about Zealy? Who went to Zealy?
I did,
I did.
Okay. Why did you go to Zealy?
to check it out. Well, I went there, I was up there I had to get an army for a customer, but I stopped in Daily to check it out.
You stopped in Zealy to check it out, specifically because you wanted to check it out,
Yeah.
right? That's what I'm trying to push and say, no. People come to Bridgeville to come to see people in Bridgeville, not to the destination, not to Zealy and not to Bridgeville. And if you think you're going to create an identity and create a cutesy downtown district that people are going to come here to visit that district and wander around like Zealy, I'm pushing and saying, I don't think you're going to achieve that. And in trying to achieve that, I think you're going to overlook what we really can be, which is that I and other people in this town are the destination. Help us to survive. Help us to thrive. Okay? I'm not going to be the component part of your cute destination. You know, very rarely do people go to Zealy to see if they can find an accountant. They go to Zealy because, well, the same reason that they're going to go to the Piazza in South Fayette, because there's a whole lot of places, or they're going to go to South Hills Village. It's a destination. South Hills Village is sort of a destination, right? Except not so much anymore. There's anchor stores, and you're really going to Macy's or Target. That's the shift. That's the big, right? Is your destination Zealy, or is your destination something that is in Zealy? And I'm saying you want to make it something that is in Zealy, because you're not going to achieve the cutesy piece that you're going to, and while you're trying to do that, you're basically telling me and other people that are here, well, you can stay if you want to, but you're really not what we're trying to help. We're not trying to help you to thrive. We would rather have a coffee shop there that's going to be cute, or a craft shop, or something that somebody would want to come to see. You know, it comes into
Pat,
that.
you know, this is one of these, we could argue the absolute living hell out of this, because I think you're conflating we with the businesses, and like they're different things. They're not different things, they're the same things.
The businesses,
So, all I'm saying is, I think we could discuss that and like that we shouldn't take the
okay,
time right now.
but you were asking where I was coming from. That's where I'm coming, is that
Gotcha.
the people come to to see the people that are here. They come for a reason. They don't come to just Zealy. So I appreciate I appreciate it. Thank you.
My debate with you would be, for example, when we go to La Bella Bean, more often than not, we're going there to meet somebody that we already had a conversation with about. We will meet you at La Bella Bean. If they know where it is, great. If not, you use those places as
Yeah.
a place to meet people and to have friends and to have your. I'm not suggesting that we have to make people come to XYZ restaurant. The businesses that this gentleman represented tonight is a perfect example. He's talking about a place that, you know, is where people can sit there. And outside, inside, exactly. I'm not if I go there, it won't be to drink a coffee. I don't drink coffee. So I'm sort of being facetious asking if you had Pepsi. I do the same thing at La Bella Bean. I don't drink coffee, but I go there all the time and I have Pepsi. So it's not, you're trying to separate those two things, and I'm thinking that
No.
you're going down the wrong road with that, and again, without turning this into
No, let me, because I'm not, because we're really actually very much agreeing.
Yeah.
We like the La Bella Beans, we like the coffee shops, we like the different destinations. The difference is in the marketing approach that the comprehensive plan tries to do. The comprehensive plan tries to get the idea of not the destination being La Bella Bean or this Originals coffee shop or Pat de Blasio's or a dozen places. The comprehensive plan looks to the idea of going to Zealand or going to Bridgeville like it was Zealand. And that's what I'm pushing against. I love the idea of going to La Bella Bean and meeting people there. I love the idea of come to Bridgeville. And you know what?
Yep.
If you get to Bridgeville, that's the difference. The comprehensive plan heads in a different direction, Bitsy, than where I think you are. It's not just me.
Maybe I read it with my own.
Yeah. It's not just me.
Mind, but
I think you all are in agreement with it. That's not where you want to
Have
be.
you got any other comments?
Nope, done.
Questions?
Oh, I have other things on here, but, you know, that could take a while, so.
On page 6,
Okay.
I'm not done yet. Page 6, comment number 4.
Okay.
All right, I do believe that we should add a bullet to the traffic parking and signage section for additional action items in
Okay.
regards to EV charging stations. Especially, there's a lot of money coming out of the feds now for charging stations.
Mr. Chairman,
What are your numbers again?
just a quick
So I
point of
know.
reference.
Page 6.
Go ahead.
Just saw it, just putting it in another building. Tesla's coming out, $650 per charging station, minimum of 4. You wire to them with a 50 amp circuit. These are not superchargers. These are designed for residential long-term charging. $650 per unit. They will collect the money for the people that charge at it. It's not Tesla specific. It works with Tesla and the T, whatever it is, universal charging stuff. They turn around they give the owner back all of the money except 1 cent per kilowatt hour. And they're ready to do it. The program is open right now. That doesn't even count, the tax credits that are available to
Maybe
municipalities and all that stuff.
something for the parking authority.
Absolutely, but I just want to let you know that it's out there, and in fact, I couldn't agree more that it should be in here. Thank you.
And then I just have one more.
Bring
Wait a
it.
minute, before you finish up on that one. 2 railroads traverse our community. What are our goals for rail? I don't know if we can ever get anybody from a railroad to sit down and talk with us about anything different. My sense is no, we can't.
Never
If we, we tried once and
I know.
gave up.
Yeah, me too.
So, I don't think there is such a thing. I guess when I was looking at this, and I'm not sure exactly where this came from, but I thought, well, geez, if somebody has a way to talk to the railroad, actually talk to them, that would be awesome. So if we don't have, this is just somebody sort of hoping, okay, would be nice, but unlikely.
And then my last comment is, and this is a real stickler for me, that there is absolutely nothing, I think there's one sentence in here in regards to the boroughs as a borough, as a working, with office space and garage space and stuff. We're doing absolutely nothing in here that states that we should at some point start looking at solar or wind or whatever, all right? I mean, we do have to look,
That's the future.
This is a 10, 15-year
Plan.
proposal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing in there about changing our electrical sources or whatever. I mean, anyway, so, that's all I have to say. We need to do something to clean up
So,
Bridgeville
some comments,
environmentally.
some comments regarding that in the comp plan.
Right.
I,
I mean, you have to
again,
have some,
wholehearted agreement with that.
Yeah.
We really absolutely.
I mean, let's think about where we can put a compost pile. I mean, it's the small things that we can do as a community to help alleviate the issues. Okay.
Mike, do you have anything? Melissa?
But I agree there.
No, I mean, I agree with that though.
Yeah.
My own
10 years from now,
It's gonna be a
Hard,
completely
totally
different world.
Yeah.
10 years fast, a lot of things can change.
Now,
My,
this,
my comment that I was gonna make was, recommend that the active transportation plan get attached to the comp plan as an addendum. I mean, it's, you know, it's readily apparent from the review from Allegheny County that, you know, there's a lot of things in process here that he wasn't aware of,
Yeah.
only because it was in a different plan, and I think it makes sense to addend the active transportation.
Especially now you watch the news and you see like news stories about, oh, this community is doing an active transportation plan, and they make a news story about it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we already did that. You know?
this part that's attached to this stuff, that starts out, survey finds, large majorities favor policies to enable more housing, simplifying permitting, allowing more apartments are especially popular. I just have a question, and I have a perception of that you have with apartments as opposed to condos, as opposed to places you own. You have a transient population. My question is that a good thing? Is there some, like, total agreement in the world of urban planning that in fact you should have more apartments, ergo a more transient population? Is that?
Well, apartments doesn't necessarily mean transient population.
Yeah, you have a lot of younger people now who are, you know, housing's expensive and they can't afford to buy a house.
Yeah.
So that's what, you know.
So they live in apartments and they're gonna live there at the same apartment for 10 years
Yeah.
or 20
Yeah,
years?
yeah. I've got a college roommate that's been living in the same apartment for 28 years now.
Huh.
I mean, you know,
It must have been living in too many suburbs, I guess.
I mean, you know, he doesn't want to do yard work, he doesn't want to, you know, so. Matt?
Yeah, I'm sorry. That came from resident one. The study that you were looking at
Respondent one.
I'm sorry, respondent one. I sent it in and I was sending it in along with the comment about the comprehensive plan's goal of allowing infill development, which is the latest thing to come from the California coast. The idea that you have a single-family lot, and what you want to do is allow it to be subdivided so that you can put more than one home on it. And I was giving this back as there are a lot of ways that Bridgeville can have multifamily housing and improve its housing stock without destroying the single family, you know, or diminishing it. And my further comments in that area were, I'm glad to see that they're finally agreeing that you should have a mix of offices and apartments, and that was what the study was showing. But I don't know that we really in Bridgeville need to take our single-family lots and subdivide them again.
No.
We already have small lots.
Well, those
Now-
are those accessory units,
Yeah, and the accessory units I thought was a great idea.
which are like
But-
800 square feet.
Right, I was coming back and saying, I don't agree with everything in that plan, specifically, frankly, what Bitsy's, you know.
See, I understood infill to be like Nino's lot, empty lot next door, that you could put 4 or 5 apartments, build an apartment building and put 4 or 5 units in there.
Justine, if I might, California led the way with restrictive zoning to the point where they've created an impossibility of building. Because, and now what they're doing is going the exact opposite way.
Pendulum
The California
swinging back.
pendulum swinging all the way
No,
back.
but I'm talking about taking empty lots that are used for,
And I'm agreeing with you. That infill makes a heck of a lot of sense. That's good infill. They want to apply it to your lot on Bank Street, so you can now, forget Bank Street, go to a single-family area. Go to Missouri.
well, Boston did that too.
Yes, they want to allow for a single-family dwelling to be cut in half and have two parcels on it, where you can have two residents. By the way, I'm very much for accessory uses, apartments over garages kind of thing, but geez, oh man, Bridgeville already has the density, we don't need to put it in,
We don't need to double it.
into that zoning area.
Yeah.
Yes, in the commercial area, infill makes a lot of sense. That's not what they were talking about, they were talking residential,
Okay,
and that's why respondent number one responded.
okay.
All right, I'm done.
So, Joe, how do we proceed from here? I mean, do we,
Let me take all these comments back to Mackin, and we'll see if it calls for a meeting or edits off of the comments.
okay, and so do we hold off on trying to schedule a public hearing?
Yeah, because the plan has to be final
Okay.
before the public hearing, we're
Okay.
just doing it.
All right.
Now granted, the public hearing may come out with additional comments, and the council then can say, all right, we're gonna put it in the plan, or just move ahead without it. So,
Okay.
but, I'll get these to Mac, and we'll go from there.
All right.
I'll keep you on the loop.
All right, thank you. Old business number 2, discussion for goals for 2024. Identify and prioritizing comprehensive plan implementation, 2023 unfinished business, new objectives. The flow chart that we've been working on, and the active transportation plan. So, can we kind of go through this quickly, Joe? You wanna?
Sure. You want to go through the flow chart?
Yeah.
All right, let me, pull that up. That's usually at the beginning of your packets. So,
We're on this puppy. Yep.
So I update these after each month's planning commission meeting. Usually when you see things in red font, those are changes from the month before.
Okay,
Green, this didn't copy very well, but the stuff that's highlighted in green means that the planning commission's work's completed. I'll go through them. Active transportation plan implementation. It sees that we discussed this quarterly, and it will be on next month's agenda. I didn't put it on this month's agenda just because the agenda was heavy, but next month we'll come back and talk about where we are with the active transportation plan. And you may remember, there's a whole separate flow chart for the active transportation plan that goes off all those projects, and we'll go through that in detail next month.
Good.
Zoning amendment for parking pads in the front yard. If you may remember, the commission recommended council, and council did not take up any action on it, but our work at the
is
time.
it sitting there, or are they saying no?
Well, it's sort of in limbo because there was supposed to be a liaison between,
Council and.
right, that never occurred.
I don't remember the
Nick-
details on that one.
Nick was the,
It was supposed to go to just one of council's subcommittees, like
Right,
administration, I
right.
believe, and Nick was the chair at the time. And I think it was that. The comprehensive plan, obviously, you can see it here, we talked about that tonight. Cleanup day, that was completed last year, I think maybe it's time to start talking
Yeah.
about something for this spring. Community gardening development, this was, it's in planning, we never really got anywhere with this. Mike was to talk to Grow Pittsburgh for assistance. On May 26th, Baldwin Street survey showed interest in the raised bed gardens when we did that separate survey to the residents, and that was well received responses on that. So I think it's now identify a specific parcel if there is a desire to do that, and start sending it down the pipe. Baldwin Street flood lot reuse. Again, we went over the survey on that, and when we started to implement that, we've kind of been methodical, not just going crazy and doing them all at once, so that wasteful, and we did the repurposing of lot 646, and now it's to identify what else we want to do. And it's in the comp plan, a reuse plan for those parcels. And our 2024 general fund budget does allocate some money for capital purchases that would be for Baldwin Street. So it doesn't put much money, but it's something to do, like picnic tables, benches, like something to get the ground running. So that's easily to do. Next page is street planting, Borough Wire project. We created a relationship with Tree Pittsburgh. I submitted an application back in October for a spring 2024 planting program. I have a meeting with them later this week to go over planting sites. We were restricted because we don't have a shade tree commission on where they would do, but because of the relationship we formed with the lot on Baldwin Street, he allowed me to submit the application through one more time until we get a shade tree commission put in place. And I explained it to him as kind of like a chicken and an egg kind of deal. I explained, hey, when we did the tree planting on Baldwin Street, there was a lot of community support and buy-in and participation through that. So I feel confident that if we do another substantial tree planting event like the one in the application, that'd be for spring, in Cook School Park and some of the larger right-of-ways in town, like the right-of-way on Gilbert Street, the McLaughlin Ridge Triangle, Sarah Street Islands, it would get an understanding within the community what street trees are, what the Shade Tree Commission would do, and I think it would be something that we can, like I would sell to Borough Council, that it has to be implemented if you want this type of programs to continue within the community. So we'll know, I'm hoping within the next couple months, if we're awarded a spring planting. It would be 25 large caliber trees like the ones in front of that parklet on Baldwin Street. So if we do 25 2-3 inch caliber trees, it would make a sizable impact that people would start to feel the energy that's starting to grow from what we did on Baldwin Street. The next thing was the rental registration program. You may remember Planning Commission sent up the pipeline to Borough Council. Borough Council, if my memory is right, wanted to create like a committee of the whole kind of deal where it would be members of Borough Council, Planning Commission, landlords, renters, public safety officials, anyone who has any impact at all on rental property, to get together to come to some type of agreement, disagreement of do we do this or do we not do this? And that's been where that was left. So I don't know who the lead is on that, but it's definitely in the chair of the Borough Council, not the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission did its job, unless it comes back to you. Gotcha. 646 Baldwin Street, we talked about that. The next page is the McLaughlin Run Park Meadow project. This came out of a comprehensive plan. It's on the agenda tonight, but we'll talk about it now. When the plan came out of the comprehensive plan, I started looking for grant programs to do it, and I went to the state. I actually started with the Western Pennsylvania Conservancy, and they forwarded me to the state to basically learn more about their lawn to meadow program. Turns out their program basically builds what we have in the plan, and it don't cost us anything ourselves. The state program pays for it all. We were able to get our site included in the 2024 program. The comp plan showed the project costing like $40-some thousand.
Yeah, 42,000, 43,000.
And we were fortunate where a lot of the costs is the meadow, and the state program pays for all that. And while this was all going on, we went to both the Lions and the Rotary Club to help us raise the money for the benches, the signage for the project, and both of them were able to support with grant money for benches and for the signage. So we're on track that project should be built by summer. The last update we had from the state was that it would be a spring or summer this year planting. And Melissa brought up just a reminder of like, the only comment we had from the state was the knotweed along the creek bank needs to be controlled. Because it's on the creek banks, we don't have the herbicide license to do that spraying along the creek, and we want to be very sensitive to that. So I went back to the state and said, hey, you work with typically contractors that do this planting. Do you have any suggestions on who can help us control the knotweed? So they had two firms that they use in the Pittsburgh area. I reached out to both of them to get proposals on controlling the knotweed. Both seemed interested in helping us. One was supposed to come down to the park middle of last week to look at it, so I'll follow up with him tomorrow to get an update on what the cost would be. So it looks like anything that costs for the project, it might be just controlling knotweed. And from talking to him, as you guys all know, that the knotweed's really hard to handle. And he says it's not going to be get rid of it totally, but if anything, it will slow it down.
Yeah.
And we're fortunate where the knotweed isn't like the whole field, it's just along the creek.
Right.
So
If you go Treacherous Creek, like up past the park, it's everywhere.
it's,
Yeah.
the whole watershed's full of it.
Yeah.
All right. And then the next thing down was Romano Drive to McLaughlin Park, and we completed that last year. The bank, Lesney Chartiers, and Mayview Road Roundabout
Wait a minute,
project.
I have to give, I think I've already given you an ad, Peppercorn, let's give you another one for that, and the water park trip.
The guys did a good job.
Yeah, it's just awesome. Because the first 2 years we lived here, I used to walk up there like, sort of like Alice in Wonderland, you know, thinking what's around the corner and is it going to be something jump out at me? But I would walk up just because it's there, but
Yeah.
now it's awesome.
We get any comments from the people that live up there?
There was, we posted after pictures on Facebook. There was a lot of comments.
Good.
It was well received. And,
I bet it'll be received even more once we get that meadow done.
I think so.
Yeah, yeah.
The small little things, just like the directional signs, like the people that are from here know about it, but like, I don't know, like, I live on the west side of town, I didn't know the trail was there, you know, and I think it's nice.
I feel like we have a lot of new residents to Bridgeville too,
There are.
especially in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Anything we do to help them.
The next thing was the roundabout. You may remember we had Pitt Engineers here last year do like a 10,000 foot above concept study. We then took that study to, you guys passed a resolution that went to Borough Council to advance that. Borough Council passed a resolution, a formal document that pushed to work with our neighbor, Upper St. Clair Township, multi-municipally, to advance that project. I met with Upper St. Clair. They went to PennDOT while they had a meeting with the McLaughlin Run roundabout to pitch the idea of the Chartier Street roundabout, basically saying, hey, I know we're all here today to talk about McLaughlin, but this whole corridor lines up with the one to top of the hill that's really needed. Bridgeville's already at the table to work collectively. PennDOT said, we're already working with the SPC to try to get this identified. There seemed to be some interest from PennDOT to do it. We need to find a way to advance it up through the SPC to get it more attention. What kind of adversely sets us back is that there isn't the accidents there that we all think. Like we all think there's accidents there every day.
It's just more, it's inconvenient to get around.
It's
It's not a safety
Should be.
issue.
Well, I think there's a lot of close calls.
Yeah,
there's
We're
tons of close
calculating-
calls.
I close my eyes every time I go through that
Yeah.
intersection.
Yeah.
It's close calls, and that's one of those things that just never gets documented.
No, and that's what skews the
Yeah.
person sitting in Harrisburg.
Yeah.
Not seeing.
Yeah, you need to put your asbestos underwear on when you go there.
But it was nice where both towns are agreeing to work together. PennDOT liked the idea, was talking to the SPC. It's now just trying to find the right program to make this work. Chartiers Park soccer field reuse. It came to the planning commission back in September that the former Parks Committee made a request to the planning commission that the soccer field isn't being used as extensively as it probably was. Can we use that space any differently? And we kind of let that sit, and maybe it's something that gets talked about this year if we do some type of feasibility study, kind of like what we did for the surveys of what we want to see on Baldwin Street. It would be a nice tool to use. So if you had to do this in a way that would be cost-effective, grassroots, and still come out with the same outcomes that we all want, we could kind of use what we did with Baldwin Street lots as a model. We pitched out there, I don't know, what was it, like 8 concepts? We all know what the 8 concepts are going to be. And set out there, see what the people think, and then a de facto high above concept plan was created. And the high above concept plan for the Baldwin Street lots
Yeah.
seems doable. I can sell that to someone, you know, and I think that's what we
Yeah.
want. So that's something that definitely we should be talking about. Downtown zoning amendment, comprehensive plan recommendation, that was in the comprehensive plan. I went to the state to ask about getting funding to do that. What they recommended, similar to what we did with the comp plan, put out an RFP, see what professional consultants are asking for that service, then make the grant application to the state, knowing that, all right, do that is 20 grand, and then make the grant request. So I went to Mackin and said, hey, did you have any RFPs recently come before you for zoning? And she didn't have anything that was specific to a district. They had like a whole zoning rewrite. So using the skeleton of the one, I put together an RFP that's in your packet that I'd like to get your input on. The next thing was another comprehensive plan implementation project, was educational program for composting and rain barrels. And it kind of goes on to the chapter that we talk about sustainability within the comp plan. And then it also bridges to the effect that you have the library and you have the borough, but what can we do so that people start to see the library more as all as one versus its own thing? So it was talked, let's try to have these community educational workshops instead of having them here at the firehouse. What can we do to have them at the library? So the library was on board for having them there, and it timed out very nicely. We're going back to the Pennsylvania Resource Council. They can do them in April, which lines up with in advance of the garden events that are at the library.
Earth Day.
So there's a real nice Earth Day,
Other
garden
plans to
swap,
change,
Yeah.
workshops, cleanup day.
People are in already that mindset.
Yeah, and it all ties in nice, and it's
And
at
they
the
have
Center
public
for
art
Lifelong
also.
Learning.
And public art also at the library.
Yeah, we do.
Just throw that in
And
there.
it's, it all worked out really nice. So,
And another adult class that I had thought that could potentially be done at the library, it would be a CPR class for adults. As I was shoveling my driveway the other day, I thought,
that's the Southbridge offers though.
Yeah,
I mean, I
It'd be
think,
something that maybe you could talk to Dan and then you
yeah,
can get with
yeah,
Dan.
yeah.
and then we could do one for dogs.
But what was nice is that it's also on your agenda, because we talked about this last month. The PRC can do them here, and it's already on the schedule to do them in April. The costs were not that much. If you just want to do the class, it's like $20. But if you wanted to get the bin or the rain barrel, it turned out to be $70 or $80, and that was the class and taking the barrel pump. So it was nice.
And I think we need to, because we're going to be starting on that 1A flood mitigation project. We all need to build into having residents help do their fair share. So,
Yeah, and it is nice. So it's in the newsletter,
yeah.
these workshops, and then once we get a little closer, we'll start promoting it or heading online. But I know you guys asked for that, and we were able to make that happen. The next thing was a wayfinding sign project that's in the comprehensive plan. We haven't really got far with it, other than funding has been allocated within the budget for that. And then lastly, we talked about the creation of a shade tree commission, and I think we'll leave it as, let's see if we get Tree Vitalize funding here in the spring. If it has success and it grows, then we can maybe bring that up and run with it, but it's looking good.
What about advertising, kind of like through the newsletter, asking for community volunteers for a shade tree commission? Is that something
We can do
that
it.
would make sense to do, or?
We do release on a quarterly, and I think maybe I think you need to see if there's interest in doing it, because the Shade Tree Commission requires the creation of a commission, like a board, that takes an ordinance being passed by Borough Council, that commission will have legislative powers over those trees. So sometimes actions like that aren't as easily as accepted as we all think they would be. So I don't think it would be wise to, hey, who wants to volunteer for something?
Right, right.
Unless
I know
council
that,
wants to do it.
okay.
Because I think people could be scared of a shade tree commission because they could think of it as, it could be as simple as, hey, they're just gonna regulate the public trees on public properties, and then they could be as detailed as they regulate all trees in the borough, and it could be very strict. So,
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
and it could come into, hey, we're gonna create, street tree plantings, which is great, and then you have some people that, I don't want to rake the leaves in front of
Right.
my house, so people, that's what makes a community great, we have differences of opinion, so I think it's gonna be,
Always making a positive statement.
Okay.
so let's see how it goes, but we can send it up the channel, and I'll help you with that.
Okay, thank you, Joe. You talked about the community education program, comprehensive plan, project development. You already talked about the Meadow project.
By the way, Wanda Meadow, did you come up with that?
No, that's an actual state program.
Oh, it's.
So if you have a site that's above a certain acreages, you could turn your yard into this and they
That's a
would do
great
it.
idea.
But
I mean,
you
that's
have-
a great name.
Yeah, there's restrictions on it, obviously, we have to keep it a meadow for a minimum of 5 years, and we can't sell it for, I think, a number of 5 years, but the parks are deed restricted, so it's not gonna happen, so it made it easy.
I think that's a great name. That's very, very clear cut what you're talking about doing. And it all sounds still real good.
Okay.
Yay, Meadow.
So the last thing here is downtown zoning district amendment. Joe put together a draft, hopefully everybody's had a chance to look at it. Do you need a motion, Joe, to move this forward?
Yes, if there's any input or something you want to change, let me know, and then if you guys are supportive of it, it would just go to Borough Council, and Borough Council would put it out for RFP.
Which piece of paper was we talking about?
It's the request for proposals downtown zone.
Borough resolution.
No, that's not it. That resolution,
That's what
is-
the copy-
that's if when it comes time to adopt the comp plan.
Oh.
This puppy right here?
Yes.
Yes, there it
This.
is. Yeah, yes.
There was some significant amount of paperwork involved in this.
Yes, there was, and a lot of the text to it, as of like, the meat of like what we want, it's verbatim from the comp plan.
Okay. One question that I have, because I tried to link into this first E-code.
Hold on one second.
Which one, the first one or the
Yeah,
second
the
one? on the
first one.
introduction? The first one, okay.
All right.
And I was not able to link it. I was able to do the other two. Because I have a VPN on my laptop.
Mhm.
So I thought maybe it was caused by the VPN. But it worked on the other two, so
All right. I'll double check.
double check.
Do we have any recommendations or motion or?
About the whole enchilada in its entirety?
Uh-huh.
If you have like grammatical things or
Oh,
something,
no, I don't have
just let me
grammatical
know.
things. I just, there were, I'm gonna say generally speaking, I thought it was good, but there were a couple of things that I wasn't as thrilled about as a couple of other things. So, but, I guess I don't feel like I need to debate any of them.
And I think just so we understand the process is that if this goes through, we did allocate funding in the budget this year to do this, using an estimate that was in the comp plan, that it would be on the next council agenda to just advertise it, get proposals. And just like we did for the active transportation plan and the planning commission thing, or the comp plan, we would get proposals back, we would look over the proposals, shortlist it, interview, find the one we want, whatever that guy's number is, I'll go back to the state, submit a grant, pump the brakes for a while until if we get funded or not, and then
Are
we'll
these-
proceed with it.
This RFP is going to go out to like the same type of companies that we used for the comprehensive plan. So it's going to be like
Consultants as in?
the what was that group out of CMU?
Evolve.
Evolve.
Mhm.
They'll, okay, all right.
I would just say that I think the idea of the zoning district for the downtown should be more carefully tailored. Target uses and building design that cater to pedestrian traffic, enhance the local experience. I think that's really good, and I love the idea that not allow uses that are auto-oriented, not frequented by customers, or overly expansive in land consumption, such as gas stations, car washes, kennels, and warehouses, all of which are currently permitted in the M district. So I'm just gonna say, since that apparently is currently permitted.
I have a question about let's just say, because didn't Bridgeville used to have an auto parts store on Main Street? So that would prohibit an auto parts store?
Auto parts store is retail.
Okay, all right,
This is more like
Auto repair.
the shoes, like that's
okay, all right,
car dealership. Car dealership.
okay,
Fake car dealerships and real car dealerships,
okay.
like the fake one that's at the creek. That's not a real car dealership. I've never seen a car go in or come out of that place. I walk by there all the time. Same inventory for 2 years. I don't know what they're doing there, but they ain't selling cars. Just saying.
Okay.
Okay. So, do we
Don't
want a
hold
motion
back.
to?
That's right, this is public, isn't it?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, motion for Joe to take this and forward it on to the council. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Any more comments? Joe?
None for me.
You're sitting back there off.
I'm just listening.
You're making me nervous.
We are well informed.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make that motion. I have a motion that we adjourn.
Okay, second, Mike?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?